What's up, guys? Back in the garage once again. This video today, I'm going to do the top 5 worst Harbor Freight items, if you will, or the bottom 5 Harbor Freight items. I don't know how you want to term that. But first and foremost, before we get into that, I want to take this time to really thank everyone who's been subscribing and interacting via the comment section and whatnot. I just hit 100 subscribers the other day, and I know that doesn't seem like much and whatnot, but I just want to say that I appreciate every single one of you guys. Also, I think it gives me motivation and excitement to really continue to try and grow this channel and put more time and effort into it. So you will be seeing that now coming up, because now that summer's winding down and I'm kind of hitting some milestones here. I really want to put my most into it. So anyways, thanks again, guys. Please, if you're not already subscribed, consider doing so, because I'm going to be bringing a lot more content like this to you in the future, and we can have a lot of fun on here. So I just wanted to get into these, my least favorite Harbor Freight items now, because I know I've had mostly nothing but positive reviews of Harbor Freight stuff so far on my channel, and I don't want to just be seen as like a Harbor Freight fanboy, because trust me, I know they have a lot of just terrible quality stuff, and there's stuff that I would never recommend anyone buy, and I've had my own terrible experiences with them, so I want to share that part too, so I don't seem biased or whatnot. So anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so coming in at number 5 for me is going to be the Pittsburgh tire irons. But I also threw in this set of pry bars as well, just because they're so similar in nature, both used for leverage and prying and whatnot. You could say this about really any of their pry bar sets, but this one is especially terrible in the finish quality. I don't know if you can see like the chunk just missing out of the corner of that edge there, and the paint and everything. This set is just super terrible, like when it comes to quality, but at least you can beat on them. And the pry bars do kind of serve a purpose, because you can use them as beater pry bars, and they will get a job done. However, when it comes to the tire irons, these will not get a job done unless you're doing like a go-kart tire or a four-wheeler tire or a lawnmower tire, because that's the only things I've been able to get done with these. Now, another reason it's going to be the number 5 worst is because I would consider this a hand tool. However, I don't know if you can see that, but this is actually Pittsburgh Automotive. So that means this is not covered under warranty, and I've tested this. Even though it should be, because it's a hand tool, they branded it under Pittsburgh Automotive instead of Pittsburgh, and then now the lifetime warranty doesn't apply, because it's like technically a different brand. So anyways, I've had to bend these back into shape in my vise, because they've bent, terribly, like a full wave in this. And I can't use them on my Harley tires. I tried. Or any normal size tire for that matter. These are not going to work. They're just going to bend, because the steel is just incredibly soft and flexible. And, again, the finishing on the edges of these two is subpar. Look at you got the chrome flaking there. But it is what it is, They'll get the job done for like lawnmower tires and stuff. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend them. And honestly, why would you buy tire irons just to change lawnmower tires? You should buy something that works. So this is number 5, because it's bad and also no warranty. So shame on you, Harbor Freight. Alright, so coming in at number 4 on the list is going to be Pittsburgh pliers. And I want to really clarify that it's the Pittsburgh pliers, okay? Because Harbor Freight does have some very nice pliers, like their Doyles. I really like those. They're much, much better quality than their Pittsburgh line. But their standard Pittsburgh pliers are pretty awful. Number 1 reason being, I don't know if you can see in every single pair of these just how terrible they've held up to, like rust and corrosion and whatnot over the years. They just look terrible, number 1. besides this one here. It looks nice, shiny, brand new, because I had to get this one warrantied out within like the past 6 months, because another reason why I just really put a decent amount of leverage on it, and this one of the handles actually snapped, so I had it warrantied out. Not that I really use it anyway, since it is a Pittsburgh, and I you know, their pliers are pretty garbage. But that's gonna be another reason why, is they're weak. You know, if you put a lot, let's see if we can get the flex even on this pair. Like, I don't know if you can really catch it on camera, but they flex a good amount, and they break because I had this one do it to me. Also, they like to just be super stiff and bind up and like just not act like good pliers. Jaws don't necessarily align that well, or even grip that well, for that matter. You know, I haven't had any luck with Pittsburgh pliers over the years. And just as an example, so here's a set of channel locks. I've had this set of channel locks longer than any of these pliers here. Any of these Pittsburgh pliers. These Pittsburgh pliers were just picked up as junk to throw in my trunk and whatnot. And you can just see, I mean, look. This set of pliers is, let's say 10 years old. 10 years old, I want to say. And it looks almost as nice as the Pittsburgh that's 6 months old. Now look at these that all range from anywhere from 3 to 6 years old. And look at how terrible they've held up compared to, you know, a nice set of pliers. Same goes for this DeWalt set. I've had this set just about as long as these channel locks, going on 10 years now. And you can just tell they've held up so much better over time than the Pittsburgh pliers. So, but like I said, I want to reiterate, that's just the Pittsburgh line, because they do have some nice pliers now that do hold up well, like the Doyle line and whatnot. And I do want to mention, I'm not against going Pittsburgh pliers for like specialty ones, you know, like these super long ones I'm not going to ever really use, or not use that often anyway. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on a pair that's just going to sit in the box 90% of the time. So if I ever need these, they're here to get the job done. And same with, you know, more specialty pliers like these hose ones from Pittsburgh Automotive. Now, these I actually do use quite a bit, so I'd like to upgrade them to something better, because I don't know how much you can see, but look at how rusted they are. I've only had these a year or so, and look, the tips don't meet up. You know, it's the typical Pittsburgh plier quality. But specialty stuff like that, I consider them. That's the only way, though. Other than that, you know, your standard pliers, just don't waste your time or money buying Pittsburgh pliers. All right, guys. So number 3 on the list is gonna be screwdrivers and nut drivers. Again, this one's gonna come with an asterisk, though, because they do have some nicer screwdrivers, like in the Doyle line. But in general, all their Pittsburgh screwdrivers and nut drivers, and they're cheaper sets, such as this one. I don't even know if they brand this set Pittsburgh. It's so cheap. It's like $5 for this whole set here. But there's a reason, and the only reason I bought this, by the way, was just for that little extension there, just in case I ever want to use it, because the whole thing was $5. But this is how bad that this set is. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. I'd almost need a level. But in person, it's noticeable by eye. I mean, this tip is angled. It's not even a flat blade screwdriver. And there's others like that in this set. I mean, it's an unusable screwdriver. You would only be grabbing one side, or you'd have the screwdriver on such an angle just to get it flat in there. They're unusable. That's how bad they are. Okay? There's that, and then there's the same goes with like this cheaper set. You know, I don't have these whole sets out there, but these are like have bent shafts and just terrible quality control. And you know, these here, I think everyone's seen these sets from Pittsburgh. I think you used to get these for free, but these handles will just crack in half, and the tips will just strip out your fasteners. You know. Then don't even get me started on the nut drivers. These are so god awful. Again, you're not going to be able to probably see that well on camera. Maybe if I roll it over, but these shafts are so far from being straight that they're, again, almost unusable. That's how bad they are. So, in my opinion, they're garbage. And these ones here, I mean, they're kind of cool for you can get them for free or for 50 cents sometimes. Throw them in a car, whatever. But half the time, the bits in them are so bad, you're just gonna strip out whatever fastener you're trying to use it on. And I mean, you can see it straight out of the factory. I think this one's brand new. I don't think I ever used it. And they're bad. And the other asterisk would be other than like the higher quality brands, you're gonna have some Pittsburgh screwdrivers that come in handy, like say this big long demolition set. Why do you want to pay more money for a name brand of something that you're literally just gonna beat the shit out of? So this would be a set to pick up from them. Or like this one, this extra long reach screwdriver set here, just because they're so cheap that if you ever do need them once, they'll probably get the job done and you'll be happy you had them. But other than that, stay away from Pittsburgh screwdrivers and really Harbor Freight screwdrivers in general. Okay, so coming in at number 2 on my list is gonna be their wrenches. And I want to specify that it's really just the wrenches and not necessarily the sockets and ratchets and that other side of the automotive tools. And I believe it's because, I don't know if you can see this, but these are made in India, whereas I'm pretty sure all their sockets and ratchets and whatnot are made in either Taiwan or China. But that's the thing. India, people talk about Chinese tools as if they're the bottom of the barrel, but in reality, it's Indian tools. Indian tools are so bad. Anything you see that says "Made in India" from Harbor Freight, just do not buy it. I don't really know how to explain this to you guys. It's just, if you see these things in person, the finishing on them, the quality, the centering of it, I mean, everything about it, it just looks like a joke. I mean, some of them are just larger than others, they're disproportionate, they're off-centered, the finishing's terrible. There's really no way for me. I don't want to waste your time going over it. Just trust me when I say that their wrench sets, especially the ones that say "Made in India," are terrible, and you should stay away from them. But, another reason too is their sizing just really isn't all that great, and I really have rounded off quite a few fasteners in my earlier days of wrenching on things when all I had was the cheaper wrench set, and they're just not something you want to use. I wouldn't even recommend really throwing them in a car or anything. I think the only thing I could recommend them for is keeping a set around in case you have to custom fabricate a wrench to fit a specific need, and you got a set that you can just chop up and not care about and weld up and whatever you want to do. That's the only use these things have in anyone's garage. Okay, guys, so kind of funny, but my number one worst item from Harbor Freight is forever going to be their caulk guns. I don't have one to show you because a long time ago I gave up on them. One of the first jobs I had out of high school when I was like 18, I was doing apartment maintenance, and one of the first things I did was go to Harbor Freight and get myself some tools, and that had to be one of them. And I swear I was back at that Harbor Freight at every single week getting a new one of those. It took, I think I went the whole damn summer before I actually realized and was like, yeah, I need to just go spend money and get a real one. Because sometimes those things will not even last a few hours. I mean, you start squeezing and they just break. They would bend from the pressure of squeezing. The tube of caulk was much stronger than the actual caulk gun. That's how bad it was. So you were literally better off using some hand squeezable stuff or taking a hammer and shoving it down and, you know, applying your caulk that way. That's how bad they were, and I'm sure they still are, even though that was like 10 years ago. Every time I pass them in the store, I just kind of laugh and think to myself about how funny it was that I stuck with those for so long. But it was because I was young, and the Harbor Freight was like a quarter mile down the road from my work, so you know, every time it'd break, I'd just run there in my lunch, or on my way home from work, oh, I'll go grab another one, you know. I don't even remember what they cost. It wasn't costing that much money, so I didn't think about it for a while until I realized, wow, you know, I definitely spent more money on their caulk guns over that summer than I would have if I would have bought probably like the most top-of-the-line caulk gun, because they were so bad, and time again, they failed. So I know that's kind of a funny, odd choice for number one, but that's just truly how I feel, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Never buy a caulk gun from Harbor Freight. Anyways, thanks for sticking around this long if you did, and I again appreciate everyone who's been subscribing and interacting on the channel. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please let me know how you feel about it, and we're gonna continue working on the channel, so I'll talk to you guys later.